Welcome into Steelers Latest, your daily spot for all news and information related to your Pittsburgh Steelers. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content to stay up to date with everything Steelers. Let's get rocking. As today, Steelers set to host the Buccaneers for a joint practice to lead into our preseason matchup this weekend, Saturday. Uh, this is actually a great opportunity for everyone on the team, coaches, players, everyone involved, players to prove your worth here. These are valuable reps. These are probably some of the more important reps of the whole building into the regular season, training camp, preseason, the whole shebang. These are probably some of the more important reps before the regular season starts because this is where you get one-on-one drills, you get team drills, all against an opposing team, and the Steelers are lucky enough to have an opposing team where the coaches are able to evaluate talent against other high-end talent. The Bucks probably gonna be a playoff team again this year, so coaches will be able to figure out who our valuable players are, who the factors are on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball. So really looking forward to hearing what comes out of this. Might see a fight or two. You never know with these joint practices. Things get heated sometimes. But let's move back a couple of days because as training camp did wrap up Tuesday, that's why the joint practice is happening Thursday. Wednesday we had off. We were going back to Pittsburgh. But who were the winners and who were some of the losers out of training camp player wise? Who on the Steelers balled out? Who stood out there? Who's solidifying their spot on the team and who is kind of fading away into the abyss of the depth chart. First, let's start with the winners here. The offensive tackles, both offensive tackles, Roderick Jones and Troy Fatanu, performing really well so far, coming off of a strong Week 1 preseason performance. Also, we love to see that, but these two have been looking really good. I'm really impressed by Broderick Jones, really looking like he's going to take a big step this year instead of little progression for Broderick Jones, and he needs that big step after struggling since coming into the league. So it's very nice seeing that the development and the progression is going in the right direction for these guys. And Troy Fatanu, we didn't get really an opportunity to see much of him last year, so it's nice seeing that he's going to be another viable option on the offensive front for the foreseeable future. And the last winner, probably one of the biggest winners, if not the biggest winner for the roster. Darnell Washington really balling out in training camp, added some more muscle this offseason. I know it's hard to believe he could add any more muscle because he was already just ginormous. Well, he's even bigger. He's humongous now. Uh, so that mountain of a man has been showcasing his impact in both the passing and run game all training camp long. And then it Pete's with the touchdown in the opening drive last week against Jacksonville. Mason Rudolph tossing the ball up there for him. Once again, that's how we got to use a player like Darnell Washington in the red zone. Just toss it up. He's big enough to just go up, big enough and strong enough to just go up there, use his hands, and bring that ball down. Now to the losers. First one, Robert Woods. We signed him kind of as a veteran that is going to be consistent, but you really haven't heard much from him. Hasn't stood out at all. The younger names definitely standing out more. Hasn't been in the conversation too much for the wide receiver 2 position, even the wide receiver 3 position. Not hearing much. I know he's slated to be that right now, but you're just not hearing much about Robert Woods, and you're hearing a lot more speculation around the younger talent like Roman Wilson, Calvin Austin. You're even hearing more stuff about further down the depth chart and the roster. Rock Taylor, the undrafted free agent, who's fighting for a position spot. Uh, Scotty Miller, who balled out in the first game. So just everyone else around him seems to be performing up to par, and Robert Woods getting lost in the shuffle. And another guy kind of like that, but he's dealing with injuries. Corey Trice dealt with injury for 2 weeks, so we haven't gotten really able to see much of him out there. So that's really where Corey Trice has been struggling with training camp because he just hasn't been on the field, so you can't evaluate him. But hopefully, when he gets back out there, he can perform well and maybe earn himself a rotation spot in that secondary. Let's move on, though, to the offensive side of the ball. Omar Khan was once again talking about this wide receiver room. The quote being, "I feel really good about the receiver room." And he better because I'm still got my questions. I know first week of preseason, the pass game was balling out. Of course, it's preseason. No one cares. Uh, I really do think this group offensively could hold us back. Uh, the wide receiver after DK Metcalf, we do have the number one guy in DK Metcalf, of course. He's going to bail us out sometimes. But after him, a lot of question marks. You don't really have someone that stands out. Roman Wilson, hopefully, can elevate his game. Calvin Austin, hopefully, elevates his game some more this year. But I just don't see the ability from consistency out of those two players, even Robert Woods included, Scotty Miller included, consistency from everyone after DK Metcalf isn't going to be there from a week to week basis. I don't think they're going to be putting up 50 to 60 yards week to week, honestly. So that's really my question marks about this team. I don't know why Omar Khan doesn't go out there. But there's still players even in free agency still lingering around that we could sign. Just just bring in a better piece so we can feel a little more secure. Once again, we got an old quarterback. We need as many weapons as possible so Aaron Rodgers can be as comfortable as possible delivering the ball. And Calvin Austin, I just really don't see the upside outside for him. I see it more in the slot position being where he belongs for the foreseeable future in his career. But right now, he's going to be outside for the Steelers. Let's wrap today's show up, though, with a little bit of bad news. As Aaron Rodgers, the first bad report has came out on Aaron Rodgers now, and it was about Caleb Johnson ran the wrong route on a play, and Aaron Rodgers let him have it on the sideline. No one knows what really was said on the sideline, but people know there was shouting involved because of the demeanor, just the look of everything from a distance, what was going down. So this is a little discouraging for us. The first bad sign of Aaron Rodgers and his new teammates. This is something we have seen before with Aaron Rodgers. He does like his receivers and his running backs on the same page as him. And when they get off it, he gets upset a little quickly. So hopefully this isn't anything too major. Hopefully this doesn't discourage our young running back in Caleb Johnson. Hopefully he can bounce back from a rough preseason week one and now a rough week of practice after being yelled at by your future Hall of Fame veteran quarterback on your team. But that has been it from Steelers Latest. I've been your host, Cole Denis, and I will see you tomorrow.